I just asked you please take that into consideration.
Okay, anything else you want to tell him? Is that it?
Would you mind if my pastor came up?
No, go ahead.
What is his name? What is his
Roger
name?
Fayok.
Fayok?
Fayok.
Fayok. Sir, so we have your name for the record. Can you tell us what your name is?
Roger Fayok.
Would you spell that for us?
F-Y-O-C-K.
Okay. And where do you reside?
I reside in Winter Haven, Florida.
And what is your occupation?
Pastor.
Okay. And I think Judge Hunter has agreed that you can address the court if you want to just tell him what you think he needs to know.
Joey was a member of our church for a couple of months prior to these events taking place, and he was making good efforts and good strides. And I got to know Joey, and he hung around some of my boys who are about his age. And God's got a call in his life, Judge, and he knows that. And he's run from that through the horror of the things that he's went through in his life. But Joey, I do not believe, would ever hurt anybody in this way. I do not believe he's guilty of these charges. We ask you to have mercy upon him in your sentencing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all very much. I have nothing further, Judge. Anything else to add? No? Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Would the defendant approach? Mr. Howman, is there any legal reason why a sentence should not be imposed?
None that I'm aware of, no, sir.
Did the defendant want to say anything before I impose sentence?
There ain't nothing I could say.
I didn't hear you.
I said there ain't nothing I could say. You still gonna do what you gonna do.
He's giving you
simply ask you if you wanted to say anything before I impose sentence.
He's going to give you that opportunity if you think that's what you want to do. If you don't, that's perfectly fine, too.
Well, yes, sir. I would like to say I'm sorry to the family of the victim, but I want them to know that I didn't even see or witness the murder, none of that. And if I'd known that exactly what took place, I would have tried to stop this, sir. But I didn't know that. I just thought it was a simple robbery. I didn't even think that dude was going to get hurt, and I didn't want no part of that. I said I didn't want no part of it, and they still involved me. They still involved me in it. And I didn't do it, and the man that did it is walking the street. And he testified. That's all I want to know. If they want injustice, it's the man who's out there on the street. That's all I like to say, sir. And I admitted my guilt.
Okay. Well, I have a different take on this, actually. I believe that you're way more involved in this than your statement would imply. I believe that this young man was killed in part because he was an easy target. I believe he was killed in part as a motive for robbery. And I believe he was killed in part because he was gay. I tend to agree with one of the things the state said in closing about the viciousness, if you will, of this particular attack. And I think that and other things evident what I just said. Nonetheless, jury having found you guilty of murder in the second degree, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty, and I'm going to sentence you to life. Florida State Prison. Jury, having found you guilty of theft of a motor vehicle, also in the same indictment, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty and sentence you to 5 years Florida State Prison to run concurrent with a life sentence on the second-degree murder. In the information, which is CFO 8008510XX, jury, having found you guilty of accessory after the fact to robbery, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty and sentence you to 15 years Florida State Prison to run concurrent with the third-degree felony of theft of a motor vehicle and the life felony of second-degree murder. As to count 2 in that information, the jury, having found you guilty of tampering with evidence, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty and sentence you to 5 years Florida State Prison to run concurrent with each of the other sentences. As to count 3 in that information, dealing in stolen property, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty and sentence you to 15 years Florida State Prison to run concurrent with each of the others. As to each of those offenses, I'm imposing mandatory cost of $498. As to each of those 5 felonies, I'm also imposing a $50 application fee, $100 attorney fee, $525 mandatory surcharge, $20 mandatory Crime Stopper fund, and I believe that's all of the mandatories. I'm going to reduce each of those to a judgment lien, and I need to ask you now, Mr. Bearden, you have the right to a hearing to contest the amount of the attorney fees. Do you wish to waive that?
Yeah, I waive it.
Okay. Defendant waives any right to a hearing as it relates to the amount of the attorney fees, which was $100 on each. You have 30 days from today's date to file a notice of appeal of the sentence and judgment of the court. Does the state have anything else? Does the defense have anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
Good. Step this way, sir.
I'll go ahead. Do what y'all do. I'll be back.
And you made me a new one, didn't you?
You need to shut up.
Judge, can I approach you to ask you something?
Beg pardon?
I just feel like with all that stuff. Can I leave that on the back table there until Monday and pass it?
I don't see any reason you can't. Ralph?
Yes, sir.
Well, where's the lieutenant? Any reason he can't leave that until Monday?
It should be fine. You have hearings Monday?
And I will be down here Monday.
Okay.
No,
I'll be down
I
here.
don't know.
The media equipment will be taken out Monday also.
Okay.
Well, if that's going to be here, I'm sure that's safe here. Part of the road.